How long have you been doing this for, and why do you dress up parrots?
Well, I dress up parrot because I always think parrot is a very comical creature. He like to imitate people for the talking, and I think he can imitate also par looking like. So I create this costume to make him look like person.
And is this just a hobby of yours, or is it a career? Do you make money out of this?
Hobby is a career. I like to promote it. I think it's very cute.
Yeah, it is very cute indeed. Now, the two you have here, these two, and they're live parrots, well, you can see that one is, but we saw photographs, and I assumed you were into taxidermy or something. I thought these were dead animals.
No.
They're very much alive, and these two are representing which famous characters?
Okay, this is
Princess Diana, ladies and gentlemen.
And a little baby. And this one here is Prince Charles.
Well, of course it is.
They don't
look at
talk
that.
each other,
Yeah.
the little bad man.
Yeah. And not at all.
She don't talk. You see, they don't
I
talk.
can see.
No. Ooh,
they're certainly not talking to one another here.
And
are they?
also,
and that isn't at all cruel to our future king, though,
but
is it?
now
No,
he can look like somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay, now he looks like a Woody Allen.
Yes, indeed.
Not a big nose.
That's right. They make fun of the big-nosed people. That's right, Albert. So how many parrots do you have altogether? You have two here with you
I
here.
have about 65 parrots.
65 parrots? And where do they stay? They stay with you at home? Or?
Yeah.
And would I be
Well,
right
we have
in
aviaries that we put it all inside.
And would I be right in assuming you live alone then with all these birds?
Yeah, no, I don't live alone. I live with the bird.
Now, how long does it take you to create these outfits? Because they're obviously very detailed. You have the little baby, one of the heirs to the throne.
This is a little carriage. And as you can see, the costume come out very easy for those
He has his father's nose, doesn't he?
That's who might be concerned for the welfare of the bird, you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because people might think that this is cruel, that you're forcing
No,
animals to dress like...
is not really, you know. Now we're going to try another. You want to see another costume?
It's not really. If it were cruel, you would tell us, of course, Albert, wouldn't you?
No. It wouldn't.
Yeah, they hate it. Yeah, that's what she'd say. They're beautiful birds. Now, are they safe to touch, these animals?
Which one?
I'll just go ahead then. I'll just... Yeah, this one. Oh, look, he's got me.
Yeah, she like you.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I'd hate to know what she did if she didn't like me.
Yeah.
Now, what are you going to show us now? You're going to show us some of these other marvellous suits you have there.
Okay.
That's right. You
come on.
take that one out.
Okay.
What are you going to demonstrate?
This one here, This one here is his name is Superbird because he's such a sweet bird, and we call him Superbird.
Right.
And he's going to imitate Elvis Presley.
Now you say they're going to.
We're going to imitate Elvis Presley.
Do you do any work with this? Do you do children's parties and all that?
Yes, I do some commercial.
Yeah.
And they use it sometimes for movies. And
now you see this
like
already. It's an uncanny similarity with the king. Elvis is in the... That's fantastic. Elvis Presley.
Come on, no music. They don't have no music. Can you dance into music?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe
Hello,
Elvis...
did you good? If you have music, you might going to dance a little bit. You're going to move.
Let's not risk it. This is the Ed Sullivan Theatre. We'd only be able to show him from the waist up, of course.
Okay.
Now, let's... which other animals do you have to show? You're going to show us some other
we're going to
impersonating beasts, yeah?
Another costume with him.
What's the name of this one?
This one here is a very famous English detective.
Oh, I meant the name of the parrot, but
Sorry.
And do some birds take to this sort of thing easier than others? Are there some birds you have that don't like being dressed?
Definitely, yes. Some birds they like to be dressed. Some birds it takes years to try to with different birds because it's very difficult. Okay, this is Sherlock Holmes.
That's brilliant, isn't it? Hi there,
with
Sherlock.
his pipe. Look.
That's very British, of course, isn't it? Yeah.
Come on. Let's walk.
Yeah.
That's a good boy. Come on, let's go.
By showing this, to make clear, we're not trying to encourage smoking in any way, are we, with the pipe there? Other animals you can show us? You have a few more?
Yeah. Okay. This one here is...
Now, before we go on, there's something exciting going to happen this evening. I can see you expectant and you're thrilled already. We're going to show you the world premiere of a new creation of yours. For the very first time, we're going to show you the Madonna parrot.
You like
I can see you excited. Please, no photographs while it goes on. This is just a... But not first, we're going to have Michael Jackson, is that right?
Well, first we have time enough for Michael Jackson.
He probably does look like this now after the amount of surgery he's had, doesn't he?
We're going to try...
I think he's a little taller, though.
Yeah, okay. This is a little bit complicated for me, to do Michael Jackson. We're going to try our best to make him look like him.
Yep.
Okay, no, it's okay. You're going to try... Okay, there you go.
That's fantastic.
Michael Jackson.
Touching himself.
Give me kissing. Give me kissing. Oh, what a good boy.
I don't think we're allowed to do that this time. Showing that suggestive stuff.
Suggestive.
So that's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I think, should we see the Madonna now?
Sure.
Are you ready for the Madonna? Do you think you can deal with the Madonna? A big moment for all of us. And this bird's going to be dressed as Madonna for us.
Madonna.
I'm very excited about this.
Oh, okay. Now, this casting,
as you can no doubt tell,
I did it in honor of your show because this is your premiere, and I thought Madonna want to honor to come to your show. So we got the real thing. Okay. We got Madonna bird.
Marvelous. Let's dress the bird.
Okay. We're gonna do that.
Here we go.
We're gonna do like that. Okay.
Pace yourselves.
Okay. The hat. Woo! This was indeed very difficult costume to make. Okay, come on.
Madonna, ladies and gentlemen. That's marvelous.
What a good girl.
What, Alba, thank you so much for letting us into your world. And you do other animals as well, I believe. Is that right?
What?
You do other animals, vultures and things?
Oh, no, vulture, no.
What do you do?
Look, and now she dances for you.
That's fantastic. Well, I think it's a very impressive movement. Thank you very much indeed. Alba Ballard, the power lady, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you,
Alba.
Thank
Thank you, the birds as well. I'm also jolly. Thank you ever so much. An exciting moment. How you doing, Britain? It's a great day in New York. Join me after the break for a slice of Sporting Frenzy and the Miss Right of a Million Imaginations, Brooke Shields.
When you encounter Raffaello, be careful. Nothing is what it seems. It may look angelic, but every Raffaello is a little white lie. A whole almond in a sensual center and crispy shell dusted with coconut. To satisfy the devil in you. Raffaello, Little White Lies from Ferrero.
Before you rock, roll with new Lynx Roll-On deodorant.
Besides being an award-winning newspaper, the Daily Mail now has a special magazine section every day. On Mondays, Sports Pictorial freeze-frames all the most dramatic action. On Tuesdays, Good Health asks and answers the medical questions that matter. On Wednesdays, Money Mail will help your money make more money. On Thursdays, Female Magazine, vital reading for every modern woman. Friday's People enters the private world of the rich and famous. And the Mail on Saturday is the perfect guide to making the most of your weekend. With a special magazine section every day, you're buying so much more than a newspaper, the Daily Mail.
Matthew! No! How are you, lads? All right?
You all right, mate?
I bet we're going in a little bit of a rush. Simon, please start. Patricia, come on.
Full of contentment, your Whiskers cat. You love to give her milk, but some cats can't digest it. That's why there's new Whiskers cat milk, specially developed to be low in lactose, which makes it easier for cats of all ages to digest. And Whiskers cat milk is much tastier than ordinary milk. Cats instinctively know what they like and what's good for them. Cats would buy Whiskers.
Could you check the oil for me?
Oil's fine, love.
Well, in that case, do you think you could check the water for me?
Welcome back, thank you. Before we move on, I must tell you that the audience here was still talking about the big story here in New York this last 7 days. A water pipe burst last Thursday in the Midtown area, bringing the city to an absolute standstill. And it really must have been some pipe. As you can see, I'm telling you, it was like the Hudson River had decided to do a surprise gig in Grand Central Station. Landlords all around it immediately put up rents on account of the ocean view. There was all that kind of thing going on. It made our floods back home look about as impressive as the slops tray in the Rose and Crown. They couldn't figure out how to stop the flow here until they worked out that if one man in Brooklyn turned on his shower, that would end it. So that's the big story here, and none of which brings me neatly to our next guest. Child star, actress, scholar, and quite possibly the most famous virgin since the original Queen Elizabeth tossed away the key to her chastity belt. Please welcome. That really struck a note with her there, didn't it, that one? Suddenly they wake up. Please welcome the sharp, scintillating, and hopelessly crushworthy Brooke Shields. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. So you trust me, huh?
Yeah, I trust you.
Trust me, thank you.
Now, Brooke, before we talk about you, I want to ask you, you're the only person I've met, and this is hardly surprising, I guess, but the only person I met who was actually at the big Liz Taylor, Larry Fortensky wedding just last week. So I want to ask you about that. Now, first of all, how was it?
It was actually wonderful. There were only about 160, 180 people. And it was very intimate, it was very family-oriented, and it was difficult to hear all the vows because of the helicopters.
Yeah.
But Michael had asked me to, come and be with him for the wedding.
Jackson's date?
Yes.
And did you see that uncanny resemblance that Barrett brought to him?
Unbelievable. I'm going to have to call Michael on it right now.
Because you've seen them now both up close, you could testify.
Hardly tell the difference.
Now, because you have been out on several dates with Mr. Jackson, is that correct?
Michael and I have been friends for years.
Now, so what does someone like Michael Jackson, who is a figure of great mystery to most of us, what sort of small talk does he make? What do you chat about?
You know, Michael has such a wonderful way of looking at the world, and he has an innocence about him that just enables him to revel in flowers and children and animals. And he's just, I mean, he talks about his work a little bit, but he really just talks about things that make him happy. I mean, we have long discussions just about everything.
So he's quite a regular person, then?
He really is, and he's, well, regular in the sense that, not regular in the sense that he's not jaded.
Yeah.
And I find that many people in this business have a tendency, it's easy to become jaded. And
easy to become cynical,
yes.
Bitter, twisted.
I
just
gotta
look
go.
at me.
Yeah.
Now, but one thing I must ask you, you go on dates with this man over a period of several years. How do you recognise him between dates? How do you know it's him turning up? Because he does look very different now, doesn't he?
He does look different. We don't ever discuss any of that, actually. We talk a lot on the phone, so it's usually his voice that gives him away.
But do you find yourself biting your lips saying, the man has a completely different nose? And then you go, what a terrific weather we've been having, Michael. How do you avoid the issue?
It's not something that you just really want to ever talk about or dwell on. But we actually, for the wedding, we were, I mean, it was really interesting because I was there from the entire
so we're back to the wedding now, Brooke, I see, yeah.
Light segue.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wedding.
Okay, okay, I see you won't be drawing that, I understand. Let me ask you, I mentioned in the introduction there, and the only reason I mention it is every article I've read with you in the recent years, they have all mentioned the fact that you are still a virgin, that's what they say, and I hope I'm not embarrassing by talking about it. What I want to ask you is, do you regret the fact that ever became public, the fact that now everyone talks about that? Because it's obviously an incredibly personal thing.
As far as personal subjects are concerned, I don't regret anything I've ever said. I came out with a book in which I discussed this, and it was geared towards helping young adults grow up in this world where there's a lot of pressure, and a lot of pressure sometimes to do things that young women are not comfortable with. And I was, in essence, just stating the fact that it's okay to really do what you believe. But maybe, if I had met you earlier, I might not have been able to write
the book. It's late in London, but it's early here. The other thing which everyone thinks about, you mentioned Brooke Shields, of course, are your eyebrows, your famous eyebrows. And there they are in full glory. I see them in front of me now. And I see Michael Jackson hasn't bothered any either. But I found a photograph in a magazine I was looking through where you have them trimmed and shaped and everything there. That was it's a great look for you there, I think.
It's actually, that's the first time anything has ever been done to my eyebrows. When I was younger, Ford Modeling Agency said I had to bleach them and pluck them, and it was, you know, something I just never thought about doing. And then we did this shoot, and
for this shoot, were they shaved or plucked?
they were they were plucked, actually. They were arced as well.
There they are. It's
Yes.
a beautiful job they've done,
Oh,
whoever did
thank
that
you.
for you. And is this something you will consider doing now? You will consider adopting this look as a full-time thing, or?
I will. If it affects you the way it does, I think I'm going to have to continue.
I would have thought shaved, but there you go. They look fantastic. Now, what's happened with the film career? Because there was a film which I read about, I've even seen photographs of a few years ago, you made, Brenda Starr, with Timothy Dalton, who's very well known now.
Excellent. Diana Scarwood, Charles Durning. We have a wonderful cast. The film has been edited, finished for 5 years. I mean, we had it before the Batman and Dick Tracy's.
It's kind of a comic strip.
It is.
Comic strip, isn't it?
It's based on a comic strip, Brenda Starr, of the 1940s. I'm 47, actually. I had flaming red hair. Everybody plays a wonderful character, and it's been tied up in litigation. So it's a very unfortunate fact.
Because it's kept your career back, I guess, isn't it? The fact that you haven't been seen and...
Well, it's kept the movie back. I mean, you know, that's, as far as my career, I'm always working in one realm or another. But it's a shame that people haven't seen it, because I know people would really like it. We have, from what I understand, a later date of November that they say it's coming out.
So we might get to see it.
I'm keeping my fingers
I hope
crossed.
so, and I hope it all happens for you. A great pleasure meeting you. Thank you very much indeed. Brooke Shields, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Brooke. Thank you. Brooke Shields there, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only. And while we're at it, make a mental note in your mentality, I suppose, that this coming Wednesday we have got Cher live right here at 6:30. Now, I'll level with you, which is what the Americans say just before they start lying their pants off. I am not the world's most devoted sports fan. In my home, if it's round, you'll probably find that it's a grapefruit. But I am fascinated by phenomena, and that is exactly what sports coverage is in the States. Phenomenal. I'm talking about pro football and baseball, and I want you to meet one of American TV's most passionate commentators. Let's go to the videotape.
First of all, the best catch by left fielder, hitting the wall. Rex Hudler, who dives, and look at this, boom, hits the wall. Poor Rex. The best move by a pitcher. Watch Kevin Brown of Texas. It's behind the back, on the fly, and the throw to first for the out. Then, the best catch by a first baseman running into the tarp. 230-pound Mo Vaughn of the Red Sox, who goes over the tarp, and does he catch it? He sure does. The worst play by a third baseman running into the photographer's box. Greg Jeffries of the Mets, who goes up and over. He was all right. The best open field tackle, Tom Brunansky of the Red Sox, who goes into second and then tackles Seattle shortstop Jeb Schaefer. First down, Bruno. The wildest pitch of the month, Eric Plunk of the Yankees. How's that one? The worst collision of the month, Minnesota first baseman Kent Herbeck and Twins third baseman Mike Pagliarulo. The plays of the month of September.
Warner Wolf. We were just watching what you call bloopers.
Right,
is that
right.
A popular thing out here, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, plays of the month. You know, these guys, they make mistakes, too, just like us.
As we all do, as indeed I showed in the entire first half of the show. Now, Warner, the World Series is going on out here at the moment, I believe. First of all, what is that to me? It's a baseball thing, and that's the big game thing.
This would be like your soccer cup final. This is it. These are the two best teams playing for the baseball championship.
And who actually competes in the World Series?
Only American teams.
You see, this is why I have a problem, because you call it the World Series.
It's our world.
Well, you see, I think it's time you Americans realise there's just a little bit more going on out there.
We're a little...
it's a bit presumptuous of you, Walter.
The biased World Series.
I know it's not your fault. I'm not holding you personally responsible, but would you have a word with someone for me on that?
Yeah.
So who's going to win? Who's actually still playing?
The Twins. The Minnesota Twins.
And that's obviously a good team.
Yeah.
Now, we're here in... three people obviously like that team. We're here in New York City, and I believe there are two New York baseball teams, and neither of them are in this big...
no,
is New York just no good at baseball? Would that be right?
This year, they both were terrible. Yankees and the Mets were terrible. They both finished fifth.
Now, what I read somewhere, I don't know if it's true, that the New York Mets, that team, they have their own psychiatrist.
That's right. That's right. And they try to help some players who are having problems. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, obviously this year it's failed miserably, but
That's right.
But that surprises us in Britain because, of course, we're not, I don't think, as addicted to psychoanalysis as you are in America anyway. But to find a sports team,
Yeah.
you know, what do they talk about the repressed anger from childhood that's stopping them making that big hit or something?
I think they try to block out all the negative parts, all the negative thoughts. In fact, tomorrow night, the pitcher for the Braves, Thursday night, Smoltz, always carries this guy with him. And since the guy has been with him, this psychologist, he's won 12 and lost 2.
And he carries the man around with him.
Absolutely.
That must slow him down considerably when he's out there trying to make it from base to base. The game itself, I've noticed, I watched some on TV here, there's an awful lot of what I would consider to be, frankly, disgraceful behaviour. A lot of spitting and a lot of really unpleasant scratching going on from these guys.
That's right.
Now, wouldn't someone... it's a very undignified sort of sport to watch.
Well, the scratching, because they itch. No. Actually, the spitting and scratching. You start it, you see the little kids see the big players do it. And they emulate the players. That's it. So they start to do it as they grow up.
And they copy the chewing tobacco and all that sort of stuff as well, I guess.
That's true. But you know, a serious note for a second, the American Medical Association and baseball, they're trying to get rid of the tobacco because it has caused a mouth cancer. And so more guys are using gum rather than the tobacco.
But they're still spitting, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
One thing
they don't like where they are.
One thing that's filling a lot of sports fans back in my hometown with some degree of terror, frankly, is the fact that America, you're due to host the World Soccer Cup, the football cup in 1994.
Yeah.
Now, now we're used to seeing, the game only has 2 halves and there's 1 break in the middle. It's very clean. Over here, you seem to have sports that go on for about 3 minutes. Then you break so you can show some commercials.
Oh, sure.
And now, what are you going to do with the World Cup? Are you going to try and impose that sort of thing on football?
I would think so, sure. They have to sell the time.
But have you no shame? This is not just a game we're talking about here.
I have to tell you, over here, it's all money.
It's all money.
Professional sports is money.
Well, it's been a pleasure meeting you. I'll be watching your sportscast with great... Just give us that catchphrase before we go, will you?
Let's go to the videotape.
Thank you very much. Warner Wolf, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Warner. Pleasure meeting you. Well... That's pretty much tonight's chunk out of the Big Apple, but you don't have to wait till Wednesday to be on Broadway once more. I'll be back tonight at 11:30 with a completely new show. Guests including hard-talking cop Sonny Grosso and sex show host Ms. Robin Bird. And if you still haven't twigged why it needs the late-night spot, join me, Jonathan Ross, and discover New York After Dark. Hope you enjoyed it. You ain't seen nothing yet. See you soon. Good evening, UK.
Excuse me?
Yeah?
Is this heaven?
No, they're making a Queen video.
The people of Brainy are getting more attention than the ones that are not brainy.
Is Britain becoming the least educated of the advanced nations? The government has turned down a royal commission on education, so Dispatches has decided to mount its own commission. With a group of leading experts who span the political and educational divide, they examine the causes and provide a radical cure. For the disturbing results of this inquiry, watch Dispatches, Wednesday at 9 on 4.
Later tonight, Channel 4 returns to Aberfan on the 25th anniversary of the disaster that claimed the lives of a generation of its children. That's at 10:30 tonight. Over on ITV in a moment, the search is on for the Krypton Factor. Here on Channel 4, Nicholas Owen and Zainab Badawi present the latest news from ITN. It's 7 o'clock.
The Health Secretary accuses Labour of smears and scares over the government's health service changes. Good evening. The issue that bears every sign of dominating the coming general election has been reverberating around the Commons for the past 2 hours.